Hello, everybody. All right. So I'm still trying to wait to see if Terry's going to show up here. I did send him the link already, but didn't hear back from him on whether or not he was going to, in fact, come up. Like when I initially scheduled it with him, he said he was okay with it. So, um, and then I would send him like little um reminder notices about it. He never kind of replied back. So, anyways, as I said, I'm just waiting for Terry. We're gonna give it a few more minutes, and we'll probably go ahead and get started tonight. As soon as I determine if he's gonna show up or not. Well, if Terry doesn't end up showing up tonight, then I guess I'll be doing this on my own. Of course, a friendly reminder to everybody, if you guys can help out by liking and sharing the screen, see if we can get some more friendly people to engage. It'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I will try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. As I said, we're just waiting to see if he shows up. Let's see now. Well, we're coming up on 3 minutes here. Maybe once we get to that, I'll talk about what we're going to be going over tonight. I know Terry was somebody I was just trying to get back into the system, as it were, in a rotation here, based on, of course, somebody's request. Sabrina had actually requested that I try to get him on, so we did schedule it, but I guess he just maybe got too busy or whatever, or had other stuff going on. But anyways, all right, so it's now past the 3 minute mark. I guess I'll talk about. So tonight, of course, is our weekly look back at Comics History Lane. Tonight we're going to touch a little bit upon. Well, first off, touch a little bit upon feature book number 20 from David McKay, The Phantom. Just kind of go over it real quick. We don't actually have the book to read from, but we'll at least acknowledge it. Talk about what was written in it, and then we'll get into the readings from, I believe it's Big Shot number 6 from Columbia Comics. We'll of course be reading some Skyman, some Tom Carey, District Attorney, some let's see now. After that, let's see now. Oh yeah, also Marvo the Magician and The Face. And for some of you, if you guys have been on when we've read that particular Columbia's Face before, that's kind of a garish mask he's wearing. So, anyways, let's see. I'll give it just a couple more minutes, and if Terry doesn't make it, we'll just get going. Then I'll just go it alone, as it were. Granted, it's always more fun when you have somebody to do this with, but sometimes stuff like that happens. So, hmm. And again, okay, so it's coming up on 7 minutes, it looks like, so, or 6 minutes rather. All right, so, oh, actually, yeah, six, I believe, or is that 4 minutes? Maybe it's 4 minutes, I don't know. Anyways, all right, so it looks like we're gonna just go ahead and get going here. Um, one last friendly reminder before we get started, of course. If you haven't already, hey, Siri. Hello, Mike. Sorry, my phone was taking its sweet whole time. Yeah, well, at least you got here, so that's good. All right. So, anyways, one last friendly reminder before we get started. If you guys haven't already, if you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people to engage, that'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So, let's first off talk about feature book number 20 from David McKay Publications. These were basically a bunch of one-offs that they would do, where they would feature one of the characters. This particular month, they happened to be doing is that the new Mike 316? I don't know what you mean. I mean, if you mean the fact that I just shaved my beard off, no, it's just that my beard got to the point it got past my mouth, and I just was kind of tired of eating my facial hair as I was eating my food. I meant the friendly reminder. I just do it. So this is why I go through all that necessary. Back when I first, back in the first couple years, I was starting to stream like this, and getting more involved in this, and also being on other people's streams as well. There were some people that were like trying to get on me a little bit, and were like, were being kind of rude and nasty. So that's why I say all that. It's one of those things where I want participation, but I also don't want people just coming on to just disrupt, just to disrupt, because they don't. We got enough negative stuff going on out there. I want my streams to be more or less positive. When I report on news, I'm going to be more. I'm going to try to be as professional about it as I can. When we're doing like stuff like this, want it to be more positive focus. So some people are just apples. Ignore them. Yeah, apple. I guess that's another way of saying another A word, right? All right. So, anyways, with all that being said, of course, let's and basically, I ended up doing just that. One of the guys actually passed away, unfortunately, and the other guy, I just stopped talking to him, so he just kind of left me alone. So, anyways, on to some happier stuff, as it were. Here. All right. So, feature book number 20, David McKay, 1936 series. Get cover date December 1938. Of course, on sale date was August of 1938. The Phantom, the cover with the Phantom, pencils and inks by Ray Moore. Genre adventure jungle superhero. The Kit Walker version of the Phantom is who they're featuring here. So, the story that they featured in this book, all 71 pages of it, was The Singh Brotherhood Part 1. Written by Lee Falk and then penciled and inked by Ray Moore. So according to the indexer notes here, The Singh Brotherhood is the first Phantom Daily story. The second half of this continuity appears in issue 22. Originally penciled and inked and scripted by Falk. The art was given to Moore after the first few weeks as Falk, who was also doing Mandrake, was too pressed for time. So that's some interesting news right there. Alrighty then. So with that being said, so that's all from that part. So now let me go find let me go grab, of course, the story in question here, or the book in question. Let me go find what we're going to be our reading material tonight, which will be, as I said, from Big Shot Comics, from Columbia Comics. All right, so tonight, of course, I'll be doing all the reading, all the character voices and the like. So this is going to be quite a first time in a while that I've done this. I've done this solo, of course. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Anyways, all right. So now with that being, I should go ahead and bring that up, of course. You guys can see it along with me. All right, October, Big Shot. And you got 10 cent. Look, like you even have the little gun barrels right there. Big Shot. Number 6, 10 cents. Of course, this is still like a little over, almost a year and a half before we even entered, like not even a year and a half, more like a year and what, 4 months before we even got into World War II. Big Shot Comics, number 6, 10 cents. America's finest comics. In every issue, The Skyman, Rocky Ryan, Charlie Chan, and The Face, Spy Chief, Marvello, Jimmy Jones, and Joe Palooka. Now, fellers, I'll show you a left jab on the bag. Professor Joe Palooka. He missed the bag, apparently. Look at that. Joe Palooka, School of Boxing. Here's a little advertisement here. M. Fisher. So here's some Joe Palooka right here. Look at the artwork. The Skyman by Paul Dean. Known only to the outside world as Alan Turner, a wealthy idler, the young scientific wizard who battles crime and evil is really the Skyman. His new inventions baffle mighty scientists. His deeds of daring worry criminals and amaze the police. Oh yeah, and I did forget to mention, of course, after we get through the readings, there will probably be, of course, I'll be doing, of course, this day in each history as well, or this weekend in each history. So, I hope you guys will look forward to that. In the ultra-modern medical hospital, this cold air treatment of cancer is miraculous. I believe he'll live. Be careful of it. The only machine in the world of its kind. Get 'em up and no lip out of you. What? The men ruthlessly tear the cancer cure machine from the patient. You can't do that. The man will die. Keep your tramp clones. We're doing it. See? There are other people outside. They'll die. Take this to calm your nerves. Calm your nerves. Hitting him with the butt of the gun there. Hurry up, you guys. This heavy. How'd you like to heft it? As the men depart, Fawn Carroll enters the hospital. Out of the way, sister. Why, how dare you? They stole a machine from the hospital. The cancer cure, of course. And and the tough part of it is the man whose life we were trying to save invented it. If he dies, mankind will lose the cure it has been searching years for. So now you guys know that when Metal's been on with me, of course, we've had discussions about, you know, we have had discussions about, a lot of these creators' grasp of science, right? So apparently, in this story, we have a machine that that cures cancer by inducing cold. So that sounds kind of interesting. Well, I guess it would kind of make sense. You basically freeze stuff down. You slow down molecules enough, and then it's very easy to keep it from metastasizing or growing more. Freezing it out, basically. So miles away at the hidden skydrome, the last experiment to test the gun on Stone. The last experiment to test a gun on Stone. The stone turns to dust when the atommatic is loosed at it. Atommatic, okay. The atoms I let go at that stone destroyed the atomic unity that held it together. Explanation of the atommatic. All matter, such as metal, stone, wood, and flesh, is comprised of tiny atoms, visible to the human eye when a barrage of atoms from the skyman's atomatic speed at any object. They smash into it, revolving at terrific speeds, jarring the other atoms out of their set frame and releasing them into the air as pure force. The object hit falls to death. Okay, so I guess I should have been more main character there. All right. So, anyways, we continue on here. This little weapon ought to end all wars. It's so frightful. I think I'll tell Fawn Carol about it. Okay. It's so frightful. I think I'll tell Fawn Carol about it. Yeah. Okay. Let's tell our lady friend about a weapon that could potentially be very dangerous. Yeah, that's a bright move, isn't it, people? Hmm. I'm just checking that, and that's why I paused here for a moment. All right, well. All right, so let's get back to the story here then. The wing races toward the city. I think I'll see if I can scare her. Good, her window's open. Dropping straight through the air, he hurdles at the open window. Good thing the wing'll stay up there until I'm ready for it. Oh, company, eh? Who are you? Nothing like a little mild exercise. Ow! Skyman. Out you go. That the door ain't open. You too, buddy. I can't play any favorites. My neck, ow! Now tell me what's this all about? The cancer cure was stolen. The man who invented it is dying. I saw it stolen, and those men were going to keep me quiet by killing me. Then those men can lead us to the man that has the stolen machine. Be careful. Not scared, are you? No, not now. They're leaving. Let's go. They'll see us. The wing sweeps up above the clouds. Not where I'm going. I'm heading into the stratosphere. My television is tuned on their car. We can't lose them. The killers flee to a lonely ravine. Hurry! We gotta tell the chief about this. I'm coming. This vine pulls a lever that opens this entrance. Chief, the Skyman's in on the deal. What? Let's get that machine hidden. But say he'll never find us here. You stay here. This isn't a woman's job. Oh boy, yeah, I know there'd be a lot of women today who would not be fans of that statement. uh, and apparently neither is she. Don't stop me. I want to help too. They won't want that car anymore. The car fades away to metallic dust. Wow, I guess he did that. Oh, he did that with his wrist right there. That ends that way of escape for them. All set for some rapid action, gentlemen. But Fawn isn't taking her orders seriously. Wait for me. Yeah, not a bright idea, lady. What are you thinking? All you really gonna do is just give him another distraction to deal with. Oh boy. Ready, set, go. Shut him! Help! The gangster chief beats a hurried retreat. Step on it. I got a way to fix the Skyman for good and for all. This seals the entrance and the exit. They'll all stifle to death while I make my getaway. Nobody except us knows that there are two entrances to that cave. This is the other one. The Skyman battles like a demonic madman. Trick me, eh? Well, it's too bad for you fellows. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, I messed up there. I thought that was Phage talking. Anyways, trick me, eh? Well, it's too bad for you fellows. Let us be pals. Thought I told you to keep out of this. I followed you, and here we are, locked in a cave. We'll suffocate. The hair will give out. Yeah, especially if you keep talking and wasting it. You'll just lose the air that much faster. Acting all hysterical like that. You should have thought of that. Solid iron, no way out. No way out there. This stone can't be budged. You mean we really are locked in? Locked underground, buried alive. Well, I'll show you I can die with a smile on my lips. Good girl. You'll need it when the air stops. Wow, some pretty gruesome stuff there, huh? Only there's no need of that. What do you mean? It's eating the iron away. And opening a path to that cancer cure machine we're after. There they go. Come on back to the wing. You're quite a little bundle of excitement. Wanting to keep chasing crooks all the time. I like doing it with you. Ah, isn't that sweet? There they are, heading out toward the waterfront. I'll follow, see where their hideout is. The gangsters arrive at the dock. Once we get on the yacht, we'll get out of the country fast. They make their escape to a boat at anchor. The wing swoops down from the sky. Now for the final showdown. This'll sell for a cool $1,000,000. I'll take it to the continent, sell it to a syndicate of bankers. You think you will? I left you were dead. But I'm not dead. I hit a shot. Lock him again. I'll finish you. I'll fill him so full of lead. No, better wait until the boss comes to see what he has to say. So I clouded him one. Good. We'll blow him and the yacht up, then let it out that he stole the cancer machine. The Skyman is left to die. The machine is back in the tug. Nobody'll ever think to accuse me. The machine will be thought to have blown up on the yacht. All right, so anyways, getting back to the why didn't you just toss him overboard? They'd find his body, and eventually, Besides, they'd think the machine went up in the bomb if I blow up the yacht. Fawn is frantic with worry. Everybody's getting away except the Skyman. What happened to him? In the doomed cabin, they bomb, and I'm tied, so I can't move. There's a desperate chance. He fails to reach his automatic. Just missed it. If I can get closer, At last, convulsive. At last, a last convulsive leap, and he seizes the fuse in his teeth. The saliva in my mouth will put out the fuse. Skyman, are you all right? My mouth is burned. Otherwise, okay. I think I'm ready to close the gates of mercy against that gangster. Good. Now we'll see some real action. Fly the wing over that tug. I'm going to go down among them. You'll be there in a jiffy. Chief, that guy again. The Skyman free and coming for revenge faster and faster. One thing I'll make sure of, they won't be able to use that boat again. The automatic dissolves the motor. Chief, look, the motor's disappeared. Shoot at him! Kill him! He's moving too fast to hit. Be with you in a moment, gentlemen. Back again. Shoot at him! Keep. Don't shoot at me. I don't like it. The Skyman, fighting like a ferret in the tiny space, proves victorious. The last man now to tie him up. An hour later, over the federal building, those parachutes will keep them safe. Then I'll radio the FBI that they're down there. The wing lands at medical hospital, and the Skyman carries the cancer cure machine to the bedside of its inventor. I hope he's still alive. Pulse is weak, very weak. What are you doing? Giving him an injection of Evapan. It'll rest him. Then the machine will do the rest. You must be a doctor. You knew just what to do. He's comfortable now and will soon be well. He's a genius, if that's what you mean. And a man, too. Mysteriously, the Skyman departs, leaving a wondering duck fawn. So wonderful and so aloof. He did a great thing for humanity, yet sneaks off to avoid praise and glory. Don't miss a single episode of the Skyman's fight against evil and oppression. He's America's national hero. Boys, girls, write to tell us of your reactions to the Skyman. What would you like to see him do? Address: Skyman, care of Columbia Comic Corporation, 569 Lexington Avenue, New York, New York. Follow the sensational exploits of the Skyman in each and every issue, each and every month in Big Shot Comics. Alrighty then. So there we go with the first story there. Let me just see the time here. Hey, Fitzjozo, thanks for dropping in. Hope you're having a good time here. All right, so we will get ready to. Actually, I do need to step away from the computer for a moment, so I'll be back, but I'll put some music on while I'm gone. All right, I'm back. So, anyways, hopefully everybody's having fun thus far. And I know I promised Terry would be here, but apparently I wasn't able to. Terry from Mighty Geek Studios, but not able to get him come in for some reason. But anyways, I will. Don't know if he just simply forgot. Maybe I should have been a little bit more, remind him a little bit more, but whatever. So anyway, so I guess we'll get ready to move on to the next story here. Up to the Skyman. The next one I was going to do, of course, is Tom Carey, District Attorney, right here, by Gene Baxter. As an elderly patrolman is walking his beat one evening, he comes to a sudden halt and doubles over. My stomach, ow! Oh, look, sheesh. Something obviously happened. Look at his skin right there. He lies still. His face glows with a blue, eerie light. Mike Kickin killed at police headquarters. Well, doctor, what's your diagnosis? Phosphorus poisoning with a radium mixture in it to tint the skin. District Attorney Tom Carey promises justice. Pardon, Mike. I'll get his killer if it's my last act. No clues, huh? None at all. None at all, sir. None at all, sir. Mike was regular in habits, clean living, and a sober man. Can't understand it. There must be a motive behind his death. Blah, blah. Another patrolman dead of the blue light, sir, at Randolph and Ebony Streets. Okay. Oh, that was Tom. Oh well. Tom speeds to the scene of the crime. The phosphorus iridium death again, and both the men are old. Beg your pardon, sir, but Leary here has a young daughter. Maybe she can help. Good. I'll try her. 20 minutes later, she may be able to shed some light on the case. Sorry to bother you at a time like this. It's all right. I'm glad you came. I'll do anything to help get Dad's killer. This is a scrapbook about all the things he's done on the force. May lend a hand. It may lend a clue. This is great. I'll read it over at once. He received no threats, no letters. None. No letters were delivered to him in the past 3 days at all. I'll borrow the scrapbook for a while until I get time to read it over. Please do, and let me know if you have any success. If you haven't already, you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream. See if we can get some more friendly people to engage. I'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I will try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. As we continue on, of course. Gee, he started being a cop a long time ago. 1916. So if everything is in present time here, that means that he'd been a cop for like 24 years. I guess he didn't want to retire. What's this? Dr. Swanson captured after extensive fight. 8 policemen required to bring in fugitive. Patrolman Aloysius J. Leary brought down maybe that's it. The old Doc Swanson roundup. There was driver. Roundup. There was driver. Get me to my office immediately. Miss Joyce, get me the files on the Doc Swanson case, 1915. The Swanson case. What's up? Joe, I have a feeling that knowing who arrested Gallup 23 years ago will solve our case. Gee, yeah. Look at the names of the men who arrested him. Kecken, Leary, Hendricks. There's the phone, sir. Retired Officer Hendricks died of the Blue Death. Hear that, Joe? Do you hear that? It's Swanson. All right, getting revenge. Swanson, all right, getting revenge. Find out where Swanson has taken himself after all these years. Then let me know by radio. I'll be in the radio cars. Yes, sir. I'll throw out a radio call at once across the city in suburbia. Calling all cars. Report any man looking like Doc Swanson captured 1916. Hey, hey, that guy we saw yesterday going into the Nelson house looked like Swanson's picture. A phone call to headquarters and another broadcast. Calling District Attorney Kitty. Man thought to be Swanson living at Carson Drive, suburbia. Did you get that? Let's go. But other ears. listen in on the shortwave radio. Carson Suburbia! So, the smart Tom Carey has found me. Well, he won't live to tell the tale. I'll blast them all off the face of the earth. There they are now. The mad killer smashes the glass pane and fires down on the gallant policeman. Try to catch me, huh? Take cover, man. Get to a safe place. That madman will kill us all. I can't send any of my men in after him. He'll shoot them down like dogs, especially when I'm not sure it is Swanson. Hey, Doc Swanson. What do you want, Carrie? That you, Swanson? Sure, I didn't. Didn't you know? And I'll tell you how I killed your cops, too. The madman shouts details across to the waiting DA. Tip tiny darts with arsenic, phosphorus, and radium. Shot 'em into the cops when they weren't looking. Pretty clever. Poison worked right away. I'm going in after him. That crazy killer. You cover me while I run. It's too dangerous, sir. Let us go. Tom breaks into a mad run across the clearing. Bam! Wham! I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Undaunted by the fire of the rifles, Swanson aims at Tom. Try to rush me, hey? I'll show him. A bullet wings his shoulder. Got me! So I missed Carey, but I'll get him when he comes in. When he opens that, he'll be pumped full of lead. On the front porch, made it now to break in on him. Here I go. I'll get you. I'll get you. But Tom keeps rolling through the bullet hail and fires. I have to wing him first before he gets me. A well-aimed shot, and Tom gets his man. Oh! Swanson, dead, plunges down the stairs. Thus ends the threat of the Blue Death Killer. Alright, so I do need to step away from the computer for a quick moment. I'll be right back. I'll put some music on while I'm gone, of course. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. One more time. Sorry. Be right back. All right, so you guys liking the story thus far? Anybody want to give their overall impressions of the stories we've read thus far? Skyman and Tom Carey. We'll try to get through a couple more before we're done. So, of course, we got a couple more stories I'm going to try to get to. Marvo the Magician and The Face before we start to wrap things up. I think we're still doing pretty good on time here with just past the hour mark. So, all right, well, with that being said, then I guess we'll move on to the next story then. Alrighty then, so let's go here. A Marvel the Magician. So here's Mike the mascot. There'll be a white little dog there. Spy Chief. Here's Jimmy Jones wins a contest. So this is a text story, of course. And this is part of the reason why comics were called magazines back in these days, because they were magazine format. The Bungle family here, with of course short stories as the header there. Charlie Chan, a detective story. Here's Jimmy Jones down here. Look at that, Jimmy and his girl right there. The far right panel. Rocky Ryan. And then we got Dixie Dugan here with Goody Doty. Of course, Dixie Dugan among one of the strips from the newspapers. Mortimer the Monk. Here we go. Marvello, Monarch of Magicians. Alrighty then. Marvello, Monarch of Magicians. Marvello has been aiding the police of late in solving some baffling crimes, having been called to the Middle West to assist in unearthing some daring counterfeiters. We find the magician in the office of the local chief of police. See this quarter, Marvello? It's almost an exact duplicate of the coins being used by our government. That makes it difficult to detect. Exactly. They fire using a alloy composed of tin and brass, so much like true money that only bank tellers can detect them. That delay loses the connecting thread that would lead back to the counterfeiters. I'll see what I can do. Good luck. As he walks down the street, a thug takes aim at him. There's that copper of the magician. I'll give him what he's not looking for. They always had very interesting ways of saying they were going to off somebody, didn't they? Anyways, I do need to go off camera here again. I'll be right back. I'll put some music on while I'm gone. we're back. Let's get back to the story here. And he fires. Hey, Hey, am I seeing things? Or do my bullets pass right through that guy? The bullets return to speak to him. What do you think? You saw us go through him, didn't you? Yeah, I'm going nuts. uh, I gotta get away from here. Meanwhile, Marvello sets out after him. I expected some sort of attack. After the newspapers told of my coming here. You can't get away from Marvello, you know? I'm nuts! For sure, I seem to hear walls talking to me. I think I am. Oh, you would be, killer. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. I think I am. He should have learned his lesson. He should have learned his lesson by now. I'll drop into one of these stores and inquire about those quarters. Mind taking payment in quarters? Not at all, Mr. Menders. Marvello gestures. Calora! And suddenly the coin speaks. Hey, wait a minute! What the? Did you hear that? Say, what's the big idea? I may be a fake coin. Why not examine me closely? Why, I will. Nobody's fooling around with my dough. Let's examine the quarters. I just got this list from the bank. These are bum coins. I got a date. Think so? Colora! Not so fast. Somebody help me. I'm seeing things. That's not all. That's not all you'll see unless you tell the truth. Where did you get those counterfeit coins? I ain't talking. I don't know. The man sees the recording angel. One eye against Butch Benders. That's me! Oh boy. The big boss Slugger Sanders passes out the coins. You'll find him at the trim tree. At the trim tree in. Gee, look at the swell. Look at the swell. I'm gonna have some fun. That looks like Slugger getting up. I'm sorry. That looks like Slugger getting up. I don't like you. Beat it. Not until you tell me where you get those counterfeit coins you pass out. Get out of my way. Hey, I can't budge, huh? I can't budge him. Colora! Though he strains mighty muscles, he cannot budge Marvello. Give me a hand, somebody. I think I'll take a hand in this myself. I huffed and puffed. Oof! I know when I'm licked. Those counterfeit coins are brought here by a man. I buy $20 worth for a $5. You don't know where the man lives, do you? As Slugger directs Marvello, a car bears down on a helpless child. He lives down that way somewhere. Baby, my baby, look out! Alora! Oh. The speeding car brings up against a brick wall. Perhaps from now on, you'll be more careful. I sure will. I sure will. Thank you, sir. Oh, thank you. Mama. Huh. You saved my baby. I'll lead you to the counterfeiters, Mr. Marvello. You will? Let's go. The men that are the counterfeiters are a tough gang. You'd better call your police pals. I think we can handle this alone. Got a friend who wants to get some quarters. I told yous not to bring nobody here. The man behind the sliding panel becomes tiny. How'd I get here? Where am I? You crooks and thieves need a good lesson, and you're going to get it. Carlotta! I'm a midget. You're big, and I'm little. Help! Look at how they drew this midget. That guy. Wow, that's kind of funny. Hmm. The door falls into a shower of toothpicks. Now, to find what this counterfeiting place is like. Now that you are the right size, tell me the counterfeiting plant where the counterfeiting plant. I don't know what you're talking about. If you won't tell me, I'll find it for myself. Galora! Hey, what you doing? This way, Marvello. Thank you. But I think the press, that makes these coins should speak up. Get back! Don't! What's going on? Your press is honest. You crook! You used me to deceive poor people. I won't do it anymore. To the police station with you. Yes, Marvello. I'm going mad. What's this? This man is the counterfeiter. Find him, and I'm his coin press. I know when I'm beat, and that's all true. Marvello, you're a walking wonder. I don't know how you do it, but you're sure doomed for crooks. People should learn that honesty really is the best policy. The end. Marvello will amaze and mystify you by his feats of magic every month in Big Shot Comics. So here are some amazing facts for you, at least from 1940, as it were. The name of the famous man who sit on tack is better off. The name of the famous philosopher Confucius is not Chinese, but the Latinized form of King Fuzi, or Kung Fuzi. Half a century ago, platinum was considered so cheap in Russia that pots and pans were made from it. Wow. half a century ago from 1890, I guess. The clumsy grizzly bear can run as fast as a horse, even with a bullet in its heart. It can race 100 yards before death overtakes it. The ostrich is the biggest bird in the world. Can run 60 miles an hour, covers 25 feet in a stride, and it roars like a lion. Even one of its eggs is equal to that dozen hen's eggs. That sounds like a pretty big egg. That's not just part of a meal. That sounds like a full meal in of itself. Coyote Mountain, located near El Centro, California, is composed chiefly of Atlantic Ocean coral, yet is on the Pacific slope. Interesting, amazing fact there. Oh boy. We're getting down to the last story here. Actually, I do need to step away from the computer for a moment, so I'll be right back. But I'll put the music on while I'm gone. All right, I'm back. So let's get to the next story here. We're at the hour and a half mark here. So as I said, this will probably be the last story, anyways. Well, let's get through it. So, The Face by Michael Blake. Tony Trent, radio commentator of station WBSC, which basically means that the radio station is east of the Mississippi, right there, east of the Mississippi River, broadcast an interesting tale one evening. Our featured story tonight goes back 30 years and into the house of the wealthy Van Dorns. Come on, brat. You mean dollars to me. Baby John, he's gone. Stolen. A ransom note Ask for 100,000, or my baby will be killed. But 2 days later, they've killed him. Killed him. My baby. New York City, 1940, in a slum section 30 years later. My birthday, and I'm going to spend all my money I've saved up to enjoy it. Taxi, take me to the Nectar nightclub. Uptown in the flashy 40s. Nice crowd tonight. You're a stranger. Here, have a good time. The waiter notices a star-shaped birthmark on the young man's wrist. Some turkey, coffee. Very good, sir. On his way, he speaks to another diner. Is that Nicky? Yes, sir. I saw it myself. The show goes on, and the poor young man is smiling happily. This is what I call living. A gun is aimed at his defenseless back. Murder in front of the door, in front of the floor show. Oh, yay! Tony Trent enters the nightclub. Pardon me. Sorry, old man. I'm in a hurry. Meester tonight, murder. Meester tonight, murder. Ew, my nightclub. Terrible, horrible. Let me have a look around. Tony slips on his new mask. It wouldn't do for a radio commentator to take an interest in murder too openly. But this case is just made for the face. Hello, powder marks. A gun was fired near here. Killer stood here and shot him in the back. I wonder what that waiter is interested in. Eek, your face! Never mind that. What interested you in the dead man? Talk, man. The police will be here in a minute and search the whole place. The starter mark on their wrist. I told him about it. Star marks on their wrist? Whose wrist? The young millionaire, Freddie Van Dorn. He and the young man. The face needs no more of a hint. No use in going downstairs. Here, the cops have surrounded the club. but they haven't thought of the runway apparently. I'll sneak out into my car from here. And now for a visit with Fred Van Dorn. A girl. I wanted to see Freddie alone. Oh well. Who? Oh! Quiet, please. I'm just as glad she fainted. It makes what I have to do that much easier. Van Dorn. Seems I've read something about that name in the past. Maybe this safe will contain something helpful. The Van Dorn kidnapping, of course. 30 years ago, a boy was, hey, maybe that star-shaped mark on the wrist is an inherited characteristic in that event. Sure, the boy who was killed tonight was the stolen Van Dorn baby, I'll bet. But how prove knowledge on the part of Freddie? Stick him up, you cheap crook. Hello, Freddie. You, oh Lord, your face. It's horrible. Think your stars you have to wear it then. And talking of stars, frantic with terror, Freddie lashes out wildly. You're a detective, I know. I hate detectives. Van Dorn destroys the telegram. You won't find this anymore. Then goes downstairs. Marcia, what's happened? Oh, a man with a terrible face came in and scared me. We gotta get out of town for a while. I think the man with the face thinks I killed that man tonight. How silly. We'll hop into my yacht and sail for the South Seas. Oh, wonderful. Upstairs in the mansion. He sure caught me off guard. He seemed so frightened, too. Didn't see that before. I wonder what it says. So Fred knew that man was his older brother. Fred Dorn, kidnapped brother still alive. Hope to locate him through star on wrist. May find him tonight. Ecker. Poor fool. Doesn't he know he'll never get away? The Face phones Tony Trent's secretary, Babs Walsh. Send out a call for Fred Van Dorn. He killed the man in the Nectar Club. Right away, Tony. 20 minutes later, picked him up, found the murder gun on him too. That plus the telegram, and the waiter's testimony will send him to the chair. But why did you do it? Why did you do it? What was your motive? My father left a will leaving the bulk of the estate to my brother. If he was ever found. I couldn't bear the thought of having all the money I wanted at my beck and call, so I shot my own brother. Talk about greed, huh? That's what happens when you get greedy, right? The end of the broadcast, and this ends a case that began in 1910 with a kidnapping. You can read all about it in Big Shot. So a little breaking the fourth wall there. That's very interesting. Follow the Face, most eerie and sensational of comic characters, as he solves bizarre crimes every month in Big Shot comic. Wow, this would have been very fun if we had been able to have somebody here to touch bases with. Anyway, so the haunting figure of the Face, scourge of foes of justice, will thrill you every month in Big Shot Comics. Alrighty then, so here we go with that. And I do need to go off camera here for a quick moment, so I'll be right back. And I get this. All right, so I'm back now. So sorry Terry didn't come in. I don't know what happened. Maybe he forgot, but then again, I did send him a reminder like yesterday and today. anyways, so with that, so we're coming up on an hour 50 here, so we're basically got one last bit to do here, and that, of course, is this weekend in Nietzsche history. So let me just check something here real quick. All right. So, anyways, today is, of course, Sunday, March the 29th, 2026. So, why don't we go ahead and take a look back at this weekend in Nietzsche history. History! And, of course, as I can. Oh, there we go. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history, or this weekend in Nietzsche history. So first off, let's see, 2011, 2016, 1951, and 1946. All right. So first off, yes, I'm going to go back 15 years ago yesterday. On yesterday's date, 15 years ago, back in 2011. WWE held its Monday Night Raw, the go home Raw before that year's WrestleMania from the Allstate Arena in Chicago, Illinois. On that night, of course, it was announced that the Legion of Doom, Road Warriors Hawk and Animal, and Paul Ellering would be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame on that night. Also on that go home edition of Monday Night Raw, would see main event would see Dolph Ziggler and Sheamus with Vicky Guerrero in their corner defeat Daniel Bryan and John Morrison. Jack Swagger defeated Jerry Lawler via DQ. Santino Marella with Kane, Tamina, Big Show, and Vladimir Kozlov in his corner would defeat Justin Gabriel, who had Ezekiel Jackson, Heath Slater, and Wade Barrett in his quarter. The show opened up with a tag team match, Christian and Edge defeating Alberto Del Rio and Brodus Clay. That happened 15 years ago yesterday. Then moving up to 10 years ago yesterday, as soon as we, of course, get to that part. "10 years ago yesterday in 2016. A1 Pictures Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash premiered in actually completed its run on Japanese television in 10 years ago today. So 10 years ago today, A1 Pictures Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash would complete its run on Japanese television on yesterday's date 10 years ago. Now, of course, as we get ready to move on to today's date, First up, going back 80 years ago today, on this date 80 years ago, back in 1946. On this date in 1946, the 110th issue of Ace Comics from David McKay went on sale on this date back in 1946. So 80 years ago today, the 110th issue of Ace Comics from David McKay went on sale on this date. Editor Ruth Plumley Thompson here. Yeah, Papa and Mama. I can't remember the name of the feature there, but Ace Comics number 110 went on sale on this date back in 1946. And finally, moving ahead 5 years to the year 1951. On this date in the year 1951, produced by UPA for Columbia Pictures, John Hubley's Gerald McBoing Boing won an Academy Award for Best Animated Short on this date back in 1951, 75 years ago today, at the 23rd Annual Academy Awards. So on this day at the 23rd Annual Academy Awards, John Hubley's Gerald McBoing, produced by UPA, won the Academy Award for Best Animated Short. All right, so with that being said, I hope everybody enjoyed the show. We'll be back here with more Need to Do tomorrow. Tomorrow, of course, we will, next Sunday, rather, I'll be joined by Apex from Apex Comics, and we'll be continuing our look down comics history lane. With all that being said, I thank everybody for being here, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.